Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Nancy Platek and Bridget Neisel, both from the Start Community Foundation. Nancy specifically with the Women's Fund. And we were talking about those three broad areas where women and children can receive so much financial assistance through this philanthropy. How do you narrow it down? What was the process of coming together and boiling it into those three?
Well, that's what the Women's Forum was about. And as I said, we had about almost 30 area nonprofit organizations met for a few hours, and we Amy Mast led a discussion and helped us go through answering series of questions, and identifying, like I said, the most pressing areas through this series of questions. And then there was a rating system at the end where everybody had 6 or 9 votes. And so those that received the most votes rose to the top as being the most pressing issues of the community.
Well, hats off. You did a beautiful job of really, I think, nailing it as far as areas that we can really focus on.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they're different from we have these 3 focus areas will be for the next 3 years, 2018 through 2021. So, and they are different from the 3 years that we just had. So it's interesting to see the changes in the community and what needs, come up.
You have coming up September 19th, the annual gathering, which for anyone who's not attended that, you just really need to.
Yeah, that's a great event for us. It gives us an opportunity to hear from the current year's grant recipients, and this year, 2017, we had 6, and it's really nice. They tell us what they were able to do with our funds, the projects that they were able to accomplish, and sometimes they'll bring an actual recipient from the project, and that's very heartwarming to hear. It makes you feel like you did something. In a little way, you made some sort of a difference.
You're absolutely right. We can't join everything, but here's a way to kind of join everything. It's amazing how many organizations you get to have an impact on for good, and you see the changes that it's made in people's lives. It's really an inspiring day. So tell us who these 6 people are that are going to be recognized on September 19th.
On the 19th, we have the Domestic Violence Project. Their project this year that we helped to fund was the Infant Health and Safety Program. We have Enrichment, the art garden that we've heard a lot about in the community, that we were part of the funding for that project. We have the Grace Project and Wellness for the People. It's called Art and Soul Resilience for Women, and we were helped them with that. The YWCA Alliance, Love Delivered Meals for Alliance Seniors. It was replacing their worn meal transporters. Pathway Caring for Children, Adoptive Mothers Retreat. And Habitat for Humanity of East Central Ohio, a lawn care maintenance education program.
Wow. What diversity as far as,
and
two are alike.
We love that. We love that we were able to serve so many different areas and a variety of people, seniors, senior women, single mothers with the Habitat for Humanity, the adoptive mothers, mothers with their young infants. It's very rewarding.
A little bit of it's so rewarding. And what an inspiring day again. September 19th, that's going to take place at 11 o'clock at Brookside. $30 a person. Such a wonderful day. How do people get tickets to that, or do you have to request an invitation, or how do you go?
You could call the Start Community Foundation and request an invitation if you're not currently on our mailing list. You can go to the website that we mentioned earlier, and the tickets will be available online. They will probably go out and be available mid-August or so.
Perfect. All right. What are the goals looking ahead? Let's say 5-10 years from now, what would you like to see the Women's Fund doing?
Well, we certainly would like it to grow financially, as well as our donors. There's a lot of women's funds, and we benchmark some of them. Like Akron has a wonderful women's fund, and they're able to give out just an enormous amount of money because they have grown their endowment fund so large. So that's our main goal is to continue to grow the fund and to make an even bigger impact in the community, give larger grants.
How do we do that? How does a person participate? Is there a dollar amount that you need to have to
there's
jump in?
There's absolutely no dollar amount. Any dollar amount will make you a member of the Women's Fund. And for any donation, you are welcome to serve on any number of our committees. If you would like to be part of the governing board, the advisory committee, that's at the $1,000 level or above. But we welcome any amount. And we, that makes you, anything you give, like Bridget said, this will give a gift in perpetuity. So any amount helps. And we encourage people to give in honor or in memory of somebody. You and I were chatting at the break that it's nice to have a place to give a gift to somebody who maybe just has everything, and or maybe they've just accomplished, a woman who is special in your life has accomplished something great, and you'd like to just honor her in some way. And a donation to the Women's Fund is a great way to do that. It helps not just her, by telling her how special she is, but it really gives back to her community.
It sure is, and it sure does. And I think it means a lot to somebody when they think, oh, I didn't need another candy dish, but wow, the fact that my gift is going to live on forever and be helping women and you can't put a dollar amount on that. It's too wonderful. It's got an interesting history, doesn't it, as far as how this all got started? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, 12 very generous women in our community pooled their money together to start an initial fund of $120,000, and they saw the need to have a fund that was just for women and children in the community. So that's how the fund got started, and it has grown to just hundreds of women now who have gotten on board with them and continued this legacy.
And they celebrated, I think, was it a 10th anniversary last year?
2016 was our 10th anniversary.
So that's quite a bit in 10 years. I mean, I know it's a decade and a lot can happen in 10 years, but that's a relatively short amount of time to have grown as large as it
is. And when we're excited about that, they started with $120,000, and the fund is valued at over $450,000 today.
Wow, that's wonderful.
We've given out over $85,000 in grants to 31 area nonprofits. And recently we were recognized by the Women's Impact Organization, which was made us, it was a great way to celebrate the 10th anniversary.
Absolutely. It's perfect.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. A perfect way to celebrate. What does it mean to you personally to get to be involved with something like this?
Wow. Well, we just had our quarterly board meeting, and the first thing I said when I looked out at my board is, I think about these women all the time, that we are like-minded. Everyone is so genuine of heart. And to be a part of that just really, it's hard for me to say. I am just filled with happiness and joy that I can share with these other people who care so much about their community and the Start Community Foundation. I look at everything that they do, and the fact that we can be a part of that is just very heartwarming.
Bridget, I'll throw that exact same question out to you. What does that mean to you personally?
Well, for a second, I would love to comment on Nancy. I think she's being pretty humble in terms of what the Women's Fund has done and benchmarking against other women's funds. We feel very fortunate at Start Community Foundation and humbled that they have entrusted us with their dollars and used us as a conduit to support the women and children in the community. I think they've done a fabulous job and have, like you have said, grown in a relatively short amount of time in terms of growing their assets. So again, where we feel humbled that they entrust us. For me personally, Start Community Foundation, what they're doing means a lot to me personally because, over a little over 100 years ago, the first community foundation was established. And the basic premise behind that was how collectively we can all do so much more than any of us can do individually. And so I believe personally very strongly in that. And I think every day at the foundation, all of us that work there and the volunteers that are a part of the foundation see that and witness that. And I think the Women's Fund is a prime prime example of women coming together to support our community, and how the power of collectively can be so much stronger and have, such a bigger impact. And so I love witnessing that every day with the 700 plus fund holders that we have. And I think the Women's Fund is a great testament to that collective impact.
I'm going to make a statement and tell me if I'm just totally off base. I kind of believe that there's something innate in us, a need to give. Because when you go to a third world country, these people have nothing, but they're so generous, and they're always eager to find something to give. And then here we are, oh my goodness, you look at the how blessed that we are in this country. But what is it that is built in us that, my goodness, once you get your mind off yourself and your own needs and you start looking at someone else and giving, that it just seems to, like you said, warm your heart. It's totally heartwarming. I'll just throw that out to you. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I think you get back what you give out, and it makes us happy to give. To know that you're helping someone else in need fills you with happiness. And I think that most people who do give understand that.
It just comes back to you.
It
you almost
does.
can't outgive it.
You're
The more
right.
you give, the more it comes
can't
back.
give enough.
Yes, it does. Bridget,
Yeah, no, and I think that's definitely accurate, and I think as well as, and we are reminded of this every day when we talk to our fund holders, is it's so personal, and why one person gives back is different why another person gives back. And so it's hard to pinpoint exactly, what's the reason and why do we feel inspired to give back. But it's great to listen to the stories of the different donors and what inspires them and the reasoning behind giving back. And so that's what makes our jobs interesting, is to interact with them and just see what they're passionate about. And it's so individual.
yes, and always good. All right, let's give the websites one more time, please.
Sure. The general website is www.starkcf.org. And then the Women's Fund website is www.starkcf.org/Women's Fund.
Couldn't be easier. Thank you, Nancy Platic and Bridget Neisel. Thank you so much for what you do in our community.
Sure, thank you.
Susie.